You will need some faux leather material. I get this from the upholstery section at JoAnn's. I'm also using some felt as decoration to kind of imitate the suede on the inside of the leather. You'll need some notebooks for the inside of your journal, and then I'm also going to be adding these little metal corners that I got from JoAnn's as decoration on mine. For my notebooks inside my journal, I'm using this little white one, and then I'm also going to be decorating this black one that I have. I'm just going to grab some washi tape and apply that to the outer cover of it. It's a really simple and easy way to decorate your notebooks so that they look a lot cuter, so I just thought I would include that in there because I had to do it anyway. And once that's done, I'm going to get started on the actual journal cover. So I'm grabbing my faux leather material and I am folding it over itself just a little bit. And I'm just going to grab one of those little notebooks and use it as a guide to measure out this faux leather material. For the height of it, you just need it to be about 1 centimeter or half a centimeter longer on the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to adjust that until it's the size that I need it to be, and then I'm going to cut it out. And for the next part, I'm going to measure it by folding it over the book, and again, you want 1 centimeter or half a centimeter extra material. But then I decided that I wanted to add a slot for my pen, so I'm going to set that in there as well and then fold the material over and measure it that way so that I have enough room for my pen to fit. And then I'm just going to cut that out as well. Now, if you are not going to be sewing this with a sewing machine, then at this point I would recommend gluing that material down so that you have a nice flat rectangle. But since I'm going to be sewing this with a sewing machine, I'm going to flip it inside out and just sew that bottom part closed. I'm going to sew as close to the edge as I can. So once that's done, I'm just going to flip it right side out and then leave it as is for now and get to work on the other parts of the journal. Next, I am grabbing my faux leather material once again, and I'm going to be cutting out a rectangular strap that's going to connect our notebook to our journal cover. So I'm making sure that it is the exact height and reaches the top and bottom of that original journal cover. And then I am just going to set that aside. Next up, I am grabbing my felt material, and you can cut this out so that it will cover the entire inside of your journal if you want to. I wanted to go for a sort of color blocked look, so I'm actually going to only be applying this to the outer portions of it and then leaving the spine exposed. Hopefully you'll see what I mean a little bit later on. But the important part of this is that the same with the strap, you want it to line up with the edges exactly. This will make it a lot easier when it comes to sewing. So just try to make sure that you get it as close to the height or width of the base journal as possible. Once I have those pieces cut out, I am just laying them down to get a general idea of the placement. And then I decided that I wanted to add a little pocket for excess papers. So I'm grabbing my faux leather material again and I'm cutting out another rectangle, again making sure it lines up with the edges, top and bottom and side of my base journal. And once all those pieces are cut out, I'm just going to pin them down. As you can see, that part in the middle that is left exposed is the spine of my journal. Once it's all pinned down, I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew around the entire perimeter of the journal, and I'm sewing as close to the edge as I can. And if you won't be using a sewing machine, then you can easily hand stitch this instead. Once I have that sewn all the way around, I'm also just adding a straight line of stitching to either side of the spine of the journal just to kind of give it a decorative look and really mark where the spine is, if that makes any sense. And then I'm just going to cut out another little rectangle of my faux leather material, and I'm going to use this to make the holder for my pen. So I'm just putting that on the spine and bunching it up. As you can see, I don't really know how to explain this, but hopefully you get the gist of what I'm saying, and I'm just going to sew that down to the spine. So once that's all sewn up, I'm just going to go ahead and apply those decorative metal pieces. These are really easy to attach. All you have to do is slide it on the corner and bend the metal tabs down, and then I'm going to take a hammer and I'm just going to flatten it out. And I'm going to repeat that process for all 4 corners. At this point, it is almost done. As you can see, all you have to do next is add your notebooks. So I am just grabbing one of my notebooks and I'm flipping it to the very end, and I'm taking that back cover and I'm going to slide it under that strap we sewed. And that is pretty much it. If you wanted to add some kind of closure or strap onto your journal, then you could, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to leave it with a clamp closure, so that's what I'm doing. And since I also wanted to add a second notebook to the inside, I'm going to show you how to do that as well. You are just going to need a little bit of elastic cord. All you have to do is flip your notebook to the center and tie your elastic cord around it, as I'm doing here, and make sure to tie it fairly tightly. Once that is on there, you can go ahead and grab your other notebook and also flip it to the center, and you're just going to slide that elastic piece through the other notebook, like I am doing here. And that is all you have to do to add a second notebook. They are easily interchangeable, and that is the completed journal.